Hello.
Hi, can
Hi,
you hear me
Richard.
okay? Hello,
Yeah, good.
hello,
Hi.
sir.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you there?
Good.
Right. So, I think I have you for the next 15 minutes.
Yep,
And yeah, if you're ready, I can dive straight into it, and I'll just ask a few questions, if I
sure.
may, and to see if there's a good fit and if I can best help you. And yeah, you can ask me all the questions you need.
Sure, no problem.
Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. So, what is the website of your project, sir?
It's called cofinity.net.
Let me just pull it up here. Um, what is the
Yeah.
URL?
Okay, let me write it down. Where do I put
Right.
some?
Feel free to write
It's a
it on
K.
Upwork.
Yeah, let me write it on Upwork because I don't know how to chat on this one. Cofinity.net. Here we go.
Nice. So I'm opening here. Lovely. I'm seeing here some beautiful display of photos. Were you able to use Firefly with this and other AI image generators?
Yes, I use the AI generator indeed. Yeah, absolutely.
Lovely. Yeah, so tell me a little bit more about this, sir.
Okay, so well, the blog is meant to. Well, I'm working on the side on the apps on the wealth management apps. The idea being to consolidate the assets and the abilities and cash flows of the user to actually give them some insight on their investment, on the ROI, on the expense ratio, everything, and help the user to actually plan their even investment journey and
Nice.
their retirement plan. So the blog is meant to create a community and generate
Mm,
traction around these ideas of investment, diversification, consolidation of assets, global view of the assets. What are the KPIs that the user needs to follow to actually keep track of the assets and so on. So the whole objective of the blog is to actually aim towards that. I mean, give this awareness, educational aspects to the user
mm.
while and create some traction around that, identify early adopters to then potentially drive them to the apps in a later stage when we launch that. So
Right.
so that's the purpose of the so that's why so I focus on four categories: essential, investment essential, because basically, well, the idea is to then diversification, because the whole thing about consolidating things, stocks, real estate, and everything. So diversification is a key point. Tools and analytical, so how to analyze your portfolio, understand what works, what doesn't work, what is the ROI of your investments, and a retirement plan, because well, the ultimate objective is, well, either generational wealth, or grow your wealth overall from wherever you are. You can be a starter, beginner in investment, or you can be a bit more advanced. But it's just to drive you in this journey of being at some point financial independent. So so the world, the guideline of this blog is that to actually give this insight, educational, and ultimately drive the traffic and people towards the apps that I'm planning to create. Well, that I'm currently creating actually.
Lovely. Well, thank you for that, sir. It sounds like what you want to happen is you need help to boost the blog post to reach your target market and to reach your target metrics. It also appears like number two, you want this to be read by the right target audience, and that will later download your app and other services, right?
Correct.
Thanks. So on that note, I'd just like to share my screen because this is similar to the work that I did for a previous client, and I'd love to share with you some of my ideas. So your website is very attractive with the image generators that are captivating. I will, however, have to comment on, did you already try Google Ads with this or not yet?
Not really. To be frank, I created it 2-3 months ago. I put some initial articles and then I refocused to the development side because I didn't really dive too much on this. I've got somebody who worked on the SOI of it and so on, but SEO, sorry, of it, but I didn't dive too much yet.
Right. Well, there's a lot of potential that can be done here. And one thing is to make sure that your headings here, you're seeing my screen, okay?
Yep.
So we have to go to Google Keyword Planner and go to either your competitors or even just your website. And the target audience usually is all over the globe, right? But do you have a particular target location?
Yeah, I'm based in Singapore, and I used to live in Hong Kong and so on. So I think the main target at this point would be Asia, but as you said, it's a global target, so it's not necessarily only Asia.
Right. I see. So you will benefit, your revenue targets will benefit if you just target it globally, right? If everybody around the world can read your articles.
Yes, correct.
So what can be done is, let me just adjust the volume. Okay, we have here your results of the Google keywords that it's here. So we have to make sure all this strong, either the low competition or high competition, are spread all over here, right?
Okay.
So your article, right now, for example, if we want this to be read by everyone in the world that's typing this, we have to make sure that this is in the H1 because there's 1 million to 10 million. This is a technical error, but we can still take advantage of this because there's a lot of people searching for this keyword. And your goal is to make sure your articles appear when they type this. So for example, financial planning, you might want to consider that if I were this website, I would make sure that this keyword will be the H1 here, so that Google will find that, and then here spread all over in the right amount. And I have my full formula here with my SEO. It depends on what your needs. I have a checklist for blog posts. So you might need that for your SEO specialist to just make sure that and then also the frequently asked questions. I don't know if you're already familiar with investment. So these are the questions, right? These are frequently asked questions, and Google says if we answer these, put that in our blog post, they will help us put your articles into those who will be typing this. So that's more eyeballs. So that's one thing that you might want to consider. This is some of the work I did for blog posts. And then I also sent you some examples on Upwork, how I did that, making sure that the keywords are there. So that's number one, right? I believe you might also be needing for your strategies, for your blog post article, an entire strategy of your target audience. So who, like, what's the 80-20 rule? 80% of your revenue and returns only come from 20% of the target. So you might want to identify who is your most likely that you will get conversions. So that's another thing. And then making sure that there's a low bounce rate, because we will have to connect this with Google Analytics and to find out if
it is connected. It is connected to Google Analytics.
right.
Already.
So that's good. And then Google Search Console too. So we can identify and then we go, another thing is competitor analysis. In your area, what are they doing? What are the paid ads that they're doing? And then you might want to look at a playbook of your specialist to see what formulas that you can use to outperform your competition. And another thing is, what I would like is, an SEO digital strategy. Just that's the initial one. I believe, like if this, in my previous experience with a client, like this, our story there was, I gave him a checklist of how to optimize a blog post and making sure, and then using Google Search Analytics to measure the growth and how many views are added every month, and changing the strategy every time we see that the views are not improving. So that's one of the things that you might want to prioritize with this one, with your homepage. And what else?
So my understanding is you can work on the strategy itself to actually provide the key axis of improvements. But what about the execution?
Yeah, I do that as well. As you can see in this, what I did was I did an audit of what are the keywords performing. Here's your Google search. I do that as well. And these are the frequently asked questions that should be in the blog post. So I did here a recommendation. We should change the basics, add a call to action, making sure that it's better than the competition after the competitor analysis. So these are the identified keywords that should be prioritized. And I'm happy to say that the client's been rating my work 5 stars. You can see in our profile, because they're seeing progress in Google Analytics. There's also an audit of what can be improved. And you can get 40% improvement too if you subscribe to a paid software called SEMrush. Do you already have that?
No.
It's again, it's optional, but you get a lot more. It's faster results because Google is limiting the data they're sharing us. But if you pay for SEMrush, they give us more data on what to use. So this is the competitor analysis for the blog post that I did for the client. And I have a system in place on how to just execute that and finding out what are the areas, what are the countries that should be targeted and what should be improved, and just making sure here. There's also an audit recommendation here of some pages have duplicate meta descriptions, 40 pages of duplicate site tags. So the scope of the work depends on your priorities. If you want to clean all the pages or just prioritize the pillar pages. So that's also an option that I'd be happy to assist and serve.
Okay. And so what about the content itself? So because right now what I did is I basically for each section I have two articles. I did create 1 or 2 articles more for each section ahead, but I didn't publish them for now. So what is for you? Well, how much content is needed? Sorry, I'm a bit sick. How much content is needed, and And how frequently should I post new content? I mean,
Right. So it depends. I will do an SEO analysis. Usually what works is, for example, it's John. The client is John. So first of all, I will do a audit for John. I will give him the strategy and an initial. Usually it's that will be the milestone one. It's usually around 75 to $100. And I will analyze in depth, and I will make them a strategy and audit like this, the one you saw. And then if they like the results, then we go to the execution of how to structure this. I will find my formulas here on how to make sure that the right keywords are spread out all over the articles. So something like this. I have kept this. These are the formulas I use, making sure that the keywords are evenly distributed and priority keywords are distributed. And then I integrate that with analytics so that John, the client, will always see that, oh, this is a progress. This kind of writing style is improving. So we make more of those that really work well and disable those that don't. And then this one doesn't apply to you because it's local SEO. I'll just go to my formulas and see what works best, and then I'll apply that on your website.
okay.
Oh, sorry to interrupt, but I think we've passed our 15 minutes. I'm still available. My next meeting is in a bit, but are you still available for a few moments?
Yeah, sure. Let's
Right.
keep going for a bit. So my understanding is the first approach will be this strategy, this audit
Yes.
and strategic plan layout.
Yes.
And okay, and the second part will be potentially the execution.
The execution, yes. If you like the direction and if you want to trial run, then we can reinvest. It's sort of like when there's a venture capital funding for a startup, then a new funding will be added. So as long as you're happy for each stage of the work, then the work keeps going. And that also protects the client from big errors. So if it's little milestones, the errors are easily reversible, and it's better to it's contained. So we always know that each pillar is strong, and we don't invest in a big capital and then it's gonna blow up. So little by little, but then all are fortified and made sure that the targets are hit first, like on the deliverable side.
Okay, understood.
Nice. So is there anything else? Oh, yes.
No. Well, I mean, this sounds good. Because I think, the person I'm working with right now, she's good, but I think she's more on the development side, rather than, she has some knowledge of SEO,
Right.
but I think it's a bit limited. So, and I need a little bit more to strategize a little bit more the approach, and especially as it's kind of a spearhead of what I want to do for the apps itself. So
Lovely.
so
Right. So it's
well
kind of like your developer is a doctor, and then when you want a specialist, the doctor will recommend you to a gynecologist, to a pediatrician or something more specialized. So I believe that's also with your developer, and then it might be helpful to go to a specialist in that area.
yeah, no, of course. Okay, no, sounds good. So how can we go ahead with this first milestone of the strategy and the audit itself?
Right. So it's so easy. I just send a trial contract. It's a short one with terms, and then I will send you an onboarding form. You will fill it out. I need there your competitors, some of the important details, and integrating me on Google Analytics. And then I start within 3 days. I'll deliver you the example, the SEO audit, and other recommendations. That includes even here. If were you considering content creation later to market the app, or not yet on your immediate goals?
What do you mean by content creation?
I mean, on like TikTok or on a LinkedIn weekly, that also helps. And running Google Ads connected to those.
Yeah, right now, well, I did initiate a LinkedIn profile for Cofinity. So the idea was indeed to start posting on it the article
Right.
of the blog. I was mainly thinking about Facebook, LinkedIn, and probably X as a main platform. I'm not really sure TikTok would be a good platform, or Instagram would be a good platform for that. But yeah, I mean, this would be just a 3 channel, but I might be wrong, but that would be at this point the 3 channels that I'm targeting. The idea also is to onboard the users, so to have them sign in and or sign up for the blog. And well, of course, the idea is to drive traffic to actually get to the apps. But if I can somehow generate some kind of income out of the blog itself, oops.